Welcome back to The Real Grind, guys, where we talk about real estate, a lot about real estate, and we sip on the best cup of coffee. Italo, when you go, you're about to move, right?
I am about to move.
So when you, how do you shop for energy?
Well, I start with my coffee. That's kind of energy?
No, that's not the kind
electricity,
of
electricity. Okay. Just kidding. Be honest with you, the very first time that I ever shopped for electricity, for energy suppliers was last year. Never done it before, never was thought about how to do it. So I just went with the best rate that I saw online. That's usually how I do it.
Now, imagine now you're negotiating a multi-million-dollar business with our syndication and our apartments, but you need somebody that can negotiate that for you. This is the guest that's gonna talk today. How can you save on electricity, energy on your multifamily business? But before, let's get the show started. Let's go.
Waking up to success. Now we're getting it started. This is the real grind. Everything you've been wanting, building an empire, no question. Talking about real estate, investing, making the millions, no stopping. While we sip on gourmet coffee. The real grind. This is the real grind. Let's go.
He is the founder and CEO of EnergyServ Solutions with over 15 years of experience on the energy industry. Welcome on the stage, Lance McGee. Let's go, brother. Let's go, my man. Welcome, brother. Oh, it's great to see you, my man. I always see you there rocking out and helping people how to save money on electricity and energy. We've been using your service for years now, my man.
Long time.
Let's go.
Long time. It's funny. I've sold so much power in my life. Let me get closer to the mic. I used to say I energize things for people. Now I empower people.
You
is
probably
a much better way to do
energize
it.
the entire country, man.
We all need it these days. Power is getting expensive. It's interesting to purchase right now.
Absolutely. But before that, man, let's get into a little bit back. Where are you from? Where you grew up? And who were you, man?
Man, I grew up in a little town in Oklahoma.
All
about
right.
3,500 people. Grandma had 100 acres on the lake, and my dad was sheriff of the town I grew up in. So
Yeah, let's go.
whole different world of non-city slicker. So just enjoyed life growing up. Hard work and hard play.
Where are you in Oklahoma?
Perry, it's about an hour
Perry.
north as a crow flies from
Okay.
Oklahoma City.
Nice. And when did you move to Texas?
Man, I met a girl and she was moving here. So 22 years ago, we got married and moved to Dallas.
Mad at this city. You didn't want to be a sheriff?
I did not want to work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That just didn't interest me whatsoever.
No, man, it's interesting. And we always, especially like around Texas, a country where when I grew up in Brazil, like I see the sheriffs, man. I think it's such a unique thing about sheriffs, man. Is the oldest law enforcement probably in the United States. A sheriff is who runs the town. Kept it safe.
It was so crazy. I mean, we would clean the jail. Our family was just a part of that little town. And
Yeah.
I used to campaign for elections, shake hands with everybody, which is kind of how I got into sales. I just like people. So
Like people, man,
Yeah.
doing good business and transactions. How do you get into the energy side, man? You just tired of paying top dollar for energy or something?
No, it was 6 o'clock Bible study in the morning. I
Okay.
was talking to a buddy of mine at the time. I was selling large commercial contracts for an office supply company.
All right.
So big commercial contracts. And if I sold one more pencil, I was going to stab someone with it. It just didn't have any interest to me whatsoever. So it's like, I've got to do something different
Yeah.
that moves the needle for me personally. And met a guy by the name of Jeff Scheffelbein, really close friend of mine now, and started working with him at a retail energy provider and started working in third-party sales, helping energy brokers have a place to put the business that they were out there earning.
Yeah. So educate us a little bit, Lance, about the private. How come we have so many electricity companies or providers in Texas?
Oh, yeah. So deregulation happened many, many years ago, almost 20 now. I think right now we have 130 choices just in Texas alone for
130
electricity.
choices. Okay.
Some you will hear of, some you won't. I work with probably the top 30 out there on the commercial side. And we work with several residentials as well. We help quite a few residential clients. But it's amazing how many options you have. It's amazing what all of those contracts look like and how different they are. You're in real estate, I'm in real estate. Those contracts can be a little bit different. So energy consultants, energy brokers like myself, we kind of are the surgeon in that field and kind of help decipher some of the noise.
You're basically the sheriff from the electricity
if you will.
companies, man.
if you will. We work side by side with
Yeah.
the retail providers, but we work on behalf of the client.
Of course,
which makes it
100%.
nice.
And so basically, who gets to stand out? It's going to be the one that has the biggest marketing budget. Yes or no?
No.
Because basically, it's okay. Who's on? Educate me, please, because I don't know this. So Encore, it is the main hardware provider. He's the
It
hardware.
makes sure your energy gets to where it's supposed to go.
So basically, it's the hardware.
Yeah,
Is that safe
it's
to say
the
that?
pole. We call it the poles and wires part of
Okay.
the business.
That's Encore.
Yeah. Then you've got the wholesalers.
And they're the only ones.
Right.
There's
They're the-
not a competition there.
well,
Come on,
there
man.
are other parts of the state
Yeah.
that have different teams like an Encore. There's
Gotcha.
5 different companies out there. You've got those guys, then you've got the wholesale, the generation, people creating the power, and then you've got the people trading it and the retailers that are buying it. We work with the retail providers.
Right.
So that's who we're
So
leveraging with.
they buy a certain amount, then resell to end users, and they process all payments, they process everything. So they're big.
Yeah. They have hedging strategies. They have a portfolio of clients. They buy power in 5-minute increments. They're buying on behalf of an entire portfolio of business that's changing every minute with the weather. So
like a stock market kind of.
it is a market.
It is.
It's an exchange, if
Right.
you will.
Yeah.
So our job is to understand good times to be purchasing, term length to be purchasing when the market is extremely high out of fear. All these hurricanes have created a unique amount of fear in the marketplace.
Sure.
So natural gas, which has always been something that helps control the cost of power, it's unease right now. So the market's moving up a little bit every day.
What is our biggest source of energy in Texas? Is it still the windmills or?
So wind and solar account for kind of the mid-20s.
Is it solar that much?
Yeah,
20%
it's
now?
significant total. Between the wind and solar, our renewable energy is up over 22%.
Oh, wow.
So it's significant. And it's getting bigger every year.
Right. That's what I'm saying, because I believe that I once talked about this and it was not even a 10% or 5%.
Yeah, the solar's coming on strong. We've got the most wind anywhere, but our solar is just, we've got a lot of land.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
we're
that's
building
true.
a ton of solar, and that imbalance that creates with old generation, fossil fuel generation, it creates a point in the market where if the sun's not shining and the wind's not blowing, we're starting to have problems
Yeah.
because we don't have enough backup.
I remember in 2021 when my daughter was born, she had jaundice, I think that's the name. And so we got discharged from the hospital and then went home, and then she went to test again. It was really high. So they sent this machine to our house. That day was that storm on 2021 that everyone
Storm
lose
Uri.
power.
Yeah.
You know, if you believe in God, I believe in God, but my street did not lose power. The houses in front of me lost power,
Wow.
and the houses behind me lost power. And I still don't have an answer why we didn't lose power, but we didn't lose the power.
I think you do have an answer. You just have to
Yes,
believe it.
I do, but I nobody explained it to me. Oh, because some people said to me, I was like, oh, it's probably close to a fire station, which is close to a fire station. And they kind of pick and choose where it's going to be routed the power. Maybe it's that. I rather believe that was
I call that
That
a
was a
God
higher
thing.
power.
Oh yeah, it's a much higher power.
100%. But due to this storms, right, that froze the mills and there wasn't much wind and stuff like that.
Yeah, the windmills froze. The gas that's moved to the generation plants to help create the power were being turned off. And
Boy.
so you had those lines freezing. Then you add the generation freezing because it didn't have any fuel to create the power, so they would freeze up. Just a whole lot of bad things happened at one time.
I certainly sure that, man. Lance, what was the biggest yearly dollar amount contract that you ever dealt to a business or multifamily, like for energy contract,
As far
as a
as
dollar amount? Because I know per year is a lot. A lot. Oh, is that how you measure? You measure per kilowatt. What is that?
measure in kilowatt hours, I've done some large portfolios for clients. They've got some owners out of California where they have quite a few assets here in Texas. And
Mhm.
just combining all their assets, one owner, we're not jumbling properties up. And it was a rather large energy agreement. And so we signed it all with one provider. We signed a 9-year contract.
How many?
A 9-year contract.
9.
9.
Oh, okay.
At 3.6 cents per kilowatt hour back in the day. So they're not having to deal with any of these power adjustments right now. They're very happy with where they
I'm
sit.
sure. I'm sure. So, would the company favor the amount of contract? I would assume, right? Would there be a discount or more properties, or would it be?
So it's all in the
Consumption?
shape of the power. If you can imagine, you have peak during the afternoons
Yeah.
when power usage is the highest. So it depends on how old the assets are, how efficient they are, if they're using chiller systems, if they're using HVAC systems. All those things go into the cost and value of that contract. Sometimes putting a bunch of properties together will bring the cost down. Sometimes it actually, if you've got some smaller assets that aren't master meter and then you've got 1 or 2 master meters,
Mhm.
that master meter project it's going to cost more
Right.
because these little guys are bringing up the energy cost for it.
Yeah.
So it's all in, when you're running a syndication or general partnership, sometimes it makes sense depending on the asset class and who owns what. Sometimes it's best to separate them out. You got to look at each different contract
Different
separately.
opportunity. And let's talk about solar real quick, man. Is the EnergyServ Solution, you guys do solar too? Or?
I just brought on a solar team member
Okay.
to really understand the contracts,
Mhm.
to be able to deploy those assets when needed, to bid them out. It's not my favorite asset in the market.
Right.
Certainly for return on investment as a limited partner in my own deals,
The-
I look at when does it pay?
Yeah. Thank you. So, that is the next question. Is like, how does it pay?
Yeah, right.
Or to the fact, like, how does it? Because probably some states would make more sense than others because of tax advantages there, whatever.
Tax advantages, cost of electricity, what the government is giving you to
Yeah.
deploy it on your property. There are some very specific rules in ERCOT that if you're building or putting solar on certain properties in certain places, it's much more advantageous than it is in the city.
Right.
So the rules are written very interestingly. Sometimes it makes business sense. Sometimes it doesn't. I'm not one to sell a product to
Right.
make money. It needs to return on that investment
Yeah,
for me to
100%.
promote it. So we'll bid it out. It just doesn't always make business sense to me.
Yeah. Would it be more going in versus on a current asset because of capex dollar? Maybe you can get that capital beforehand, or I think so, right?
If you're planning
pencils out.
if you're planning it into the deal and it pencils out and you already know the bid and the value and the cost of everything,
Yeah.
sometimes it fits perfectly.
Right.
But if you're trying to figure out how you're going to increase the value of each one of those units and they haven't been maintained and there's a significant amount of value there,
Yeah.
do what you know to do to print value.
I hope he's not listening, but there was a friend of mine that pitched me and it's like, man, you had to pull solar on your deal. It's like, bro, we don't do that. I said, no, let me just jump on a call with us, So we did, and he couldn't explain to me how I was gonna be able to make that work. So that's why we don't have any. But do you like coffee, man?
I love coffee.
How much coffee do you like?
One of my nicknames is Second Cup. I mean, I've drank so much coffee in my life. With my dad being sheriff, there was a never-ending pot of coffee on our stove as a kid. So I've been drinking coffee since I was little.
But how much do we enjoy like a cup of coffee? For example, let's put it this way: what you drink beer?
Sometimes.
Scotch, wine, maybe.
I'm a
You know,
little
wine.
I'm a little different in that I don't look at menus. I don't order from a menu. I just tell them to bring me what I'm supposed to have.
Wow.
So I have a lot of faith in what people are.
Let's have
Bringing to
faith
the
in
table.
Italo right now, and let's call the coffee time, guys. Let's
love
go.
Bring 1 cup of coffee for each one of us, but I heard,
Oh.
I heard his nickname before. Lance, very nice to having you here. Yeah,
Oh,
he needs his coffee.
He's reading the cup.
So when we spoke at this conference, and I was meeting Lance, and I was like, "Do you like coffee?" He's like, "They don't call me second cup for no reason." I was like, "I got you, dude. Thank you so much for coming in."
Definitely.
And so for him, because he likes coffee that much, I chose something a little the darker notes for him, because I think that's gonna hit right where it needs, right there. So we gotta get this question out of the way. What's your favorite coffee brand? What do you buy for your home?
Danger Coffee.
Danger?
Yeah.
Never heard of that. Is that from Black Rifle?
No, it's a whole different brand. It's a buddy of mine who is a biohacker. So it's
What?
it's a fascinating brand of coffee.
How do we get our hands in one of those?
Why'd you bring it with you, man?
I actually set it out. It's sitting there, and I neglected to grab it off the table.
Well, that gives you another reason to come and see
Yeah,
us.
I'll come back out here.
Danger Coffee. It's kind of scary.
That's kind of cool, though.
I like it. I like it. So, Lance, today what you're having here is something that is part of our new brand of coffee right here. It's
All right.
F Monday. Do you like Mondays? How's Mondays for you?
They're great.
They're great. There you go. That's the attitude. So that's what the coffee is all about. It's about the attitude on the Monday, because Monday is the day that you just want to get out there and conquer. And if you need a cup of coffee to get that started, let's go. And this will come from local small farms. So
Right.
it's just a initiative that we had in here to
And
promote
entrepreneurs.
and local small farms. And our goal here is just to promote other people and
love
promote
it.
great coffee. So that being said, here's your first cup. So the way we drink this coffee here is a little bit different than the usual,
All right.
because we drink it like, do you drink wine?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so slurp on it, let it sit in your mouth. It's gonna kind of expand a little bit. You're gonna get more of the notes in there.
Perfect.
And then you let us know if this is any different than yours, than you usually drink. Cheers.
Salute. Nice acidity. That's nice.
Yeah,
I like
I knew you were gonna like this. That's why I chose this one. Usually what we give people here is a coffee that will look way lighter than this. It looks almost like a Texas sweet tea, as far as like the appearance of it.
Yeah.
But this one is a little bit on the darker notes.
It's really good.
There you go. Do you put sugar in your coffee?
No.
There you go.
Why would you ever do that?
He's like, my house, there's a sheriff. He will lock you up for that.
Yeah, this is how we it measures the steak like medium to medium rare. That's why it's a lighter. People's like, coffee should be very strong. You get that caffeine. Is actually the opposite, man.
They're being
You know
trained
what I
to
mean?
drink burnt coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How you
100%.
know, man.
Drives
We're
me
talking.
crazy.
It's
He knows his source of energy both ways. But you're gonna see something interesting. The more you drink on this coffee,
The lighter it gets.
the lighter it gets,
Yeah.
and the flavor is gonna start like really blooming. Now you're gonna get more fruity forward flavors in there.
Fascinating.
Yeah. So I'm gonna leave this one right here
You're a good man.
Mr.
next to
Second
you.
cup.
And funny story, because you're from a place in Oklahoma that only a few people that I tell them that the first place that I went when I first stepped foot in America was Enid, Oklahoma, and you're somewhat
Yeah.
close there, right?
You got a buddy that trained fighter jets there.
Yeah, they had a huge. The town was basically Enid, and everybody or majority of the people work at the
Primary military.
Air Force base.
Oh wow.
Yeah, the first girl that I had a crush on in America, I didn't know English, but I thought she liked me. She was a cashier at the supermarket. They had their own supermarket in there. It was like,
On base.
Yeah, on base. I was like, so you're military? It's like, no, I just
And it's
work
really
there.
cost effective.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I've heard. So, and I guess they sell bad coffee in there. So maybe we need to tap in there with some After Monday for those pilots. Lance, I want to hear more about your story. I'm going to leave the second cup in here
I'm
for
gonna
you.
drink it.
There you go, man. It's all you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. And let's go.
Lance, talk to me about multifamily, man. How'd you start getting into the multifamily sector?
When I was on the retail side of the fence, I really started to enjoy working with owners. I didn't know all the terminology back 17 years ago, but general partnership groups, syndication groups, property management teams. Um,
There was not a lot of that going on back then on syndication portion, right? It was
there
more,
wasn't. It was a lot more property management teams that I was working with,
yeah.
but I really enjoyed the relationship.
Hmm.
And I've always looked for verticals where I can make impact. And in multifamily real estate, I found that I can make impact with large groups of people quickly.
Yeah.
Because once you have the handshake of a property management team or a general partnership team, they have other assets or they're going to purchase other assets. And so I don't have to rebuild the relationship to earn more business.
Right, of course.
I have to do a good job managing that relationship.
And relationships, especially on this, is everything, man. That's
It is.
sometimes like people get too focused on the other way around on the back end, like, but relationships what build those long term, especially on a multifamily, because it's a hard to build a trust, but once you build it,
Yep.
then you have it.
I 100% agree. It's an awesome industry for people who do it right.
Amen.
It's painful for those who don't.
It's painful for a lot of people that don't, not
Yeah.
just for those that don't, man. But so you asked me today before the show, before we come on stage, about how is the property management going, and I told you a lot of procedures and systems in places, but one of the main factors that we decided to do this, Lance, is because we needed to be conservative in such as times. And how important is to somebody to be very in line with dealing with contracts, like, you know what I mean? Because, and just a little bit of context, like, I hear that people don't focus on that until deep into the deal when you already don't have any more money. So share a little bit of what somebody that's listening, how can they get aware of getting those contracts, getting with you on to advise them and guide them and mentor them how to.
Yeah, it's so important to have somebody who knows about energy, whether it's a team member on your GP team or your property management team, or bring in a consultant or brokerage firm like myself. We know what we're looking for inside of each contract. I wouldn't call them gotcha moments, but there's moments that are going to hurt you as a consumer that you just don't know exist that we can change inside of the terms of service. So all the contracts that our team writes have changes in them built for our clients. So that's an important piece. And then understanding real estate in general. When you buy a property, you're buying it with the intention of leaving it.
Right.
So you want to buy your energy contracts potentially to match that, depending on where we're at in the market cycle. You got highs and you got lows. I mean, for the last 10 years of energy before 2021, the market was soft. For like 10 years, we were in 4-cent energy rates, which was really nice, except for, you had a few
4
years.
cents a kilowatt.
4 cents per kilowatt hour.
What does it run today?
Anywhere between 6 and 8, depending on the size of your portfolio. It's crazy. So you've got some high fives for some larger assets, but you're going to be paying 6 cents, which is a significant increase. If you got a master meter property, you've already got a $10,000 bill. Well, you're going up quite a bit, and you can't really change your rent fast enough to recover.
100%. And counting the fact that we are talking about high insurance, we're talking about the property tax and all the other bullshit that it's going up and cost, and we're not catching up enough to make those deals pencil out nowadays.
You
man.
can't catch up. I mean, there's so many things hitting commercial real estate right now, and it's coming at a fever pitch.
Yeah.
Insurance probably being the worst, followed by interest rates, and all those little things are just stealing from that NOI. It's so painful to watch. As a vendor, I know who's in pain. I know why they're in pain. I see the P&Ls, it's painful.
And Lance, how did you start it? You know, did you invest in apartments first, or you already doing consulting for apartments and then you invested in apartments as a passive investor?
Well, I did a lot of different um, vertical business in the energy side. So I was helping a lot of different verticals, multifamily real estate being one. And as I really started to get to know the people and shake hands with the people that I was working for, I built some relationships and started asking questions. And we have people in common
Yeah.
that we've worked with, and you know, talking to those people and saying, what does this look like? How could I be in a position to own a part of the asset? And as you save people money, those conversations are easier to get to. And they said, well, it's this, this, and this, and that's all you got to do. And
Sign the PPM
for,
documents.
for me, the handshake was more important than understanding the investment to a degree.
100%.
People buy from people; they don't buy things. So, I've invested in quite a few doors now.
Very cool. Have you thought about doing your own deal on that model of no?
I have.
Yes.
I've looked
you
at
have?
that, but right now I'm working in 6 different companies.
Yeah.
And then I'm an executive coach for several people through an organization called Unblinded. And so my time is fractured in a way that I really enjoy it right now.
Yes.
So I don't want to, when you're a general partner, to me, that needs to be a full-time function.
Amen.
And so,
Amen.
so I don't want to be a part-time owner operator. I would rather
Yeah.
invest and allow somebody that full-time position because I don't have
I
time
thought
for
somebody told me that back in the day, man. I wish this interview here was.
it. Yeah. It's a
Don't get
big
me wrong.
responsibility.
It is.
I mean, you're carrying the weight of a lot of investors.
Yeah.
And I want you solely focused on bringing value to that asset.
Right.
I don't want to pretend like I'm going to do that right now with everything else I got going on.
Right, and 100%. And the knowledge I know today, and I have all of our business that we do, not just the multifamily, but all the business. I do have an exit strategy.
Yeah.
That I want to see a full term. You know what I mean? Sometimes we just get caught up by, oh no, this is my business, my baby. I mean, I believe that my babies are my 2 daughters.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So whatever I can do to accelerate then the fact that I don't take my ego and just be like, I get this money and now I can leverage other people to do.
Yes.
But now I believe that such as syndicators that are still in the game, they're being conservative and being aware,
Yeah.
the eye on the ball, because right now it's in a, kind of a,
It's essential if you don't know what's coming
yeah.
to be learning as much as you can and not be learning with everyone else's money.
Yeah, but
So-
I see some, especially on the first properties, man. There's this particular individual that, so very awesome investor of ours, invested in several deals, but he invested himself over $1 million into the deal, and he lives out of state. He never ever step a foot at that property,
That's
ever.
fascinating.
And to know that he's gonna double, almost triple his money, like,
Yeah.
it's very nice, right?
Yeah.
So I want to get there. And one day that I'm, when I, like I said, go full cycles in my business, so I can leverage other people, get out other people opportunity to be like, hey, this is firm handshake, somebody that I
Yeah.
trust, because that is number one thing.
Yep.
I love what you said about people trust people. They
Yeah.
don't.
People buy from people. They
Yeah.
don't buy products.
Yep.
I mean, you eat where you eat on a regular basis with intention.
That's awesome, man. So, Lance, how can people get in contact with your firm and about the energy contracts and
Sure.
talk a little bit how important it is for somebody to get in touch with you? When is a good time, and the service that you offer?
We're doing audits on a regular basis for property management teams often. They've either had an energy consultant that wasn't quite getting things done.
Mm-hmm.
I will tell you, multifamily real estate is very, very, there's a lot of detail that goes into it, a lot of understanding. I have a team built around multifamily real estate
Mm-hmm.
as a separate function from all the other clients that I serve. Because you have a fire, we got to know who to call, when to turn it on, when to turn it off. We're working with your electrician or your changing out 140 HVAC units. You need someone like us to help you through that process and to make sure you get all the right rebates that you're supposed to get. So you can bring us in at any point of the time you own the asset, you're considering buying the asset, you've got the LOI, you're auditing all the bills. Let us audit the energy, the gas. I'll audit the trash as well right now. We can do waste management as well. And, over time, I'm building a whole suite.
You guys are the brokers?
Yeah, so we'll broker that for you as well. As we continue to grow and create all the things we're doing, one of the next companies I'm starting will be able to handle everything that you're trying to get done.
That's
at one
awesome,
time.
man. And if you're underwriting a property right now, and if you get Lance some of that electricity bills on the installations, imagine the amount of savings that you can provide that it can really impact your numbers.
Yeah, I mean, you could be paying taxes on something you shouldn't be paying taxes on. We'll go in, we can go back up to 4 years and get all those dollars back for you.
Yeah.
It's, we just recovered $61,000 for an apartment complex that was a master meter property. Been paying tax that they shouldn't have been paying for the last 4 years.
Right.
And they just don't know what they don't know. And that's why they need to hire someone like us to come in and just make sure everything's the way it should be.
Awesome, my man. Well, at this part, Lance, we're going to do a little bit more questions here to spilling the beans.
All right.
Spilling the beans with Lance. Let's go.
All right.
Solving problems by thinking or acting.
It's a blend.
So
Can't do one without the other.
I know a lot of people that just act on shit.
How does that work out for them?
I don't know.
You do. You watch them fail often.
Love it. Being part of a tight-knit community or thriving in a vast network?
The tight-knit community is hyper important in life.
Okay.
To allow you to thrive in the rest of it.
Typeful. Striving for excellence or accepting imperfections?
Noticing imperfections and making them better, but getting the shit done.
Success defined by wealth or success defined by happiness?
You get money, you get time, or you get magic. You're trading two all the time to get the other.
We buy happiness, man.
I'm fighting like crazy, enjoying time right now. But the magic that comes, the kind of magic I want to create comes a little bit later.
Awesome. Trusting intuition or trusting data?
Intuition is data.
Why?
You have it for a reason. When you shake hands with somebody,
Powerful.
It's called intuition.
Creating your own path or following in the footstep of a mentor?
We all model. I think modeling is so important. Blazing a path is incredible, but why cut the field down if somebody's already done it?
Yeah. And the last one but not least, Texas, Oklahoma.
Well, go Pokes.
Thank you so much. That was Spilling the Beans with Lance McGee. Let's go. Lance, I love how you're very insightful of things. Since every event that we come in and we shake hands, and definitely the energy passes along. And I love to hang out with people like that, man. So thanks for coming on the show. I really I've been trying to get you for a long time, and over a year, bro.
Seven companies now.
I've been trying to get you on the show.
I sit on the board of. I've got one actually. I want you to come on to. We're going to have a meeting, I think, on Friday. I'll send you the invite and see if you've got the time. It's a SaaS company where you can put in whatever CapEx project you're wanting to do. It'll tell you when you're going to make money, who's got it that's in the same zip code around you, what the value proposition is on your rent.
Sweet.
It breaks everything down, but we're trying to figure out on the GP side, property management team side, what y'all need in the tool. So we're already working with a lot of different vendors. They're giving us all of their data. Like ADT's downloading everything.
Really?
And we're increasing sales cycles like no tomorrow because it's data driven, but with the relationships,
Yeah.
those two will be blended into one. And then I'm starting up a company called NOIBoost.com, which will house all of the things that our company will be doing at that point, which we will be able to resource
Sweet.
whatever you're needing.
That's
So I've been
amazing,
building
man.
that out for the last couple of years.
Love. Collaboration is the new currency, my man.
An ecosystem merging with people who are like-minded, good, honest, ethical people. It's invaluable. You can't blend ecosystems enough with good people.
And Lance, if you one last shot out, if you look out to camera 3 right there, and you give yourself an advice for a younger self, or for people that are starting up, and what would you have to say?
Shut up and listen. You think you know, but sometimes when you go back to the modeling conversation, research people who have done it, see what their failures are, look at their successes, and really accelerate through their successes and figure out how not to fail in the same way they did.
Let's go, man.
That's what I would say.
Brother, thanks so much for coming
Definitely.
here.
Appreciate you.
Let's go.
Thank you.
This is the Real Grind.
And as always, thank you so much for watching the Real Grind podcast. This episode is sponsored by F Monday. This is your source of coffee, the source of coffee for the Real Grind podcast. This is where we get all the amazing coffee here for the show. So if you're looking for great coffee, amazing coffee, look no further. That way you support local farmers, new entrepreneurs, maybe like yourself. Let's support the community. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're on your favorite podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, you name it, we're there. Give us a like on Instagram. That's how you're gonna keep up with the new episodes, the new guests, coffee tips, real estate tips, everything. It's right there. I will see you on the next episode. This is the Real Grind. Let's go.
Waking up to success. Now we're getting it started. This is the real grind. Everything you've been wanting, building an empire, no question. Talking about real estate, investing, making the millions, no stopping. While we sip on, go and make coffee. The real grind. This is the real grind. Let's go.